When you had a shitty day and nothing's going right, waking up to a class or job that you never liked. Take a moment, breathe, sit back, be a weeb. May not be as bad as it all seems. It's all the same, it's all the same.
It's all the same, it's all the same.
It's all the same, it's all the same. It's all the same, it's all the same. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Band Podcast. My name is Gray.
And this is Blue, and this is month 18, episode 17.
Welcome to the year-end review of the Band Podcast. 2019 is almost over.
Yeah, we only have, less than a week left?
Yeah, right now we're recording this on December 28th. So yeah, a couple days and 2019 is over. So we thought we'd do a How Was 2019 kind of podcast. Because we started in June, so it's technically not, the end of the year for us streaming-wise, but, 2019 is ending. How was 2019 for you, Blue?
It went by quicker than I thought it would. I mean, I think as I get older, the years definitely go faster, and it just feels like I'm reaching 30s very, very quickly. And I mean, of course, this was also our first full year of streaming. So that was very, it was interesting. We went through a lot of ups and downs, I think. Good things, bad things.
I agree, yeah.
So, yeah, I think we grew as streamers, for sure.
Do you have I guess I want to ask you what your favorite games were that we streamed this year. Before that, I think one of the biggest things that happened was we joined Isekai.
Yep.
And even though we do the podcast every month and we haven't done really any other streams besides that, I think just really growing. Because I remember at the beginning of 2019, we said we want to make more friends. We want to, connect with more people. And Isekai was a really good opportunity because we text each other now, with the team, and we have other streamer friends that live in Japan. And to me, that was really, really big. So that was one of the biggest things that happened.
For sure.
This year. Yeah, 2019 was crazy because, like you said, this is the first full year that we streamed from January 1st to December 31st. Well, we don't, stream at the very end, but the schedule is crazier than I thought. I thought I could kind of do it, no problem, but I just realized I was talking to you, I think it was around Christmas Day, I was like, I can't believe I actually did this for a year.
Yeah.
A full year, this schedule.
But I think it's finally time, after a year, we tried out this schedule, and then we realized that it is a little difficult to keep up with. So we're hoping to shift it a little bit to the point where we can get more sleep and maybe be a little bit more healthier schedule for us. Yeah. So we will be announcing that on Discord.
For sure. Some changes to come. But before that, because we'll talk about all that kind of stuff later. Yeah. But what were your favorite games that you streamed? It doesn't have to be, not games, but what were your favorite streams of the year? Do you have anything in mind?
What all did we stream this year? I'm trying to think back and what we streamed. Cuz that's a whole year I got to think about.
We did Sekiro, we did the 14
yeah. I think Sekiro was definitely one of my favorites.
Stranding, we did at the end of the year.
Yeah.
RE2.
I mean, especially since with Sekiro, I know I kind of rage quit at that monkey, right? And then I went back to it, and then I was able to finish it. And I thought that was really good to go back and finish it, especially since I kind of regret stopping in the middle of it, if that makes any sense. Because I think after I got the hang of it, it wasn't as bad, and it just reminded me of what Soulsborne is all about. And then after that, we did Dark Souls 1. Sorry, and that was fun too. I mean, I think I definitely miss streaming Soulsborne games because that's what we started out with, and now when I don't have a Soulsborne game to play, I kind of miss it. So there's a part of me that always kind of considers like, wait, should I do like a challenge run? Should I not? Should I just wait for Elden Ring? Kind of thing. So for sure, Sekiro was one of my favorites.
And it was timed perfectly too, because it was actually for the 12-hour stream.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that also happened this year. We did our first 12-hour stream.
We learned some things from that stream.
I got really sick.
Yes, you did.
The week that we were supposed to do it. So then we said we're going to delay it 1 week, and that was the week Sekiro came out. So we were able to do almost on release day. We were able to play Sekiro, and that was the way we kind of kicked off the 12-hour stream.
Yeah,
So,
I remember.
Yeah, and we'll definitely do another 1 year, whatever it may be, but a 1 year stream for a 2-year stream, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
This June. But yeah, for me, I think what was most. I mean, Sekiro was a banger because that was the first Soulsborne game that I finished, but I didn't really stream it, except for the last battle. But I think RE2 might have been probably the most important stream, unintentionally important stream for our channel, because that was the channel that we got rated in, and how the whole isekai thing started.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was, and I think isekai to me, it personally, just with like making friends and stuff, like that was a really big moment.
Mm-hmm.
And if we just to do that co-op, because we play these single player games co-op where I play on the mouse and you play the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
You play the keys, right? And then I think that was interesting to people. That was really fun to play, and also to be able to that was like a random raid. Nobody really from Isekai knew us, but they just somehow found us and raided us, and then we got to make so many friends. So I keep kind of like remembering those streams, and we have a lot of clips from those the RE2 days.
Yeah.
So I think RE2 might have been my favorite stream moment, just with the stuff that happened. The game itself is really good too, and
we had a lot of fun playing that one. For sure.
So I think RE2 might be for me. And of course, one of the few games that I streamed this year was Pokemon at the end of the year. That was also fun. I really, really enjoyed just playing that game in general and doing the story mode with chat, I guess. And it was, that one was, out of the few games that I streamed, Pokemon and doing RE2 with you was probably my favorite. 2 favorites.
Another one was, I really, really enjoyed Death Stranding, but I don't know if everyone in our community did. So, me personally, I really enjoyed the game, but I'm not sure if it was the best game to stream, if that makes sense. I think I'm still on the fence with that one, because I think it did help people who were on the fence of whether to buy it or not, and I think it helped them decide with whether they were going to get it or not. And in that sense, I thought that was really cool, because I know watching me play, a couple people did buy the game, and I thought that was a really cool thing where they could just watch and then decide for themselves, kind of thing. But of course, because it is a slow game, it was one of the harder ones to stream, because there wasn't a lot of action in, not necessarily action, but there wasn't a lot of things going on in the game, and there was a lot of me just walking around. But on a game, just whether I enjoyed it or not, it was one of my favorites. And then another one, which I'm probably, I don't know if I should even say, because I have a feeling people are gonna bring it up in stream, but I actually really enjoyed playing Outlast.
Why would you say that?
Because
why would you say that?
I know. But the thing is, at the time, it was really scary. But like you said, I did enjoy splitting up the controls, and I thought that was really, really fun to do. So, not just Outlast, but RE2 as well, RE7 as well. All the split co-op ones are always really, really fun. And I just thought Outlast was one that I just have really good memories of getting scared, and lots of good clips and stuff like that.
Was Outlast the one that you puked in? Where you couldn't take the...
Oh, yeah, I did, yeah. So that moment wasn't good, but other than that, it was great.
Outlast, those games are always fun. Because these games I never would play by myself.
Yeah.
Or even with you, I wouldn't play them, if we didn't stream it. I think we would rather just watch other people play it.
For
I think a lot of people are on the same boat. So it's always fun playing those games. And those games are really scary at first, and then it kind of gets deeper into story towards the second half. But the first part that's really scary is really, really, really creepy. So I'm definitely looking forward to more horror games. Streaming it.
I'm still looking for a third person horror game, so I don't puke.
The first person really gets.
Yeah, the first person really gets on my motion sickness side. So that's the one bad thing about horror games.
Yeah, it's definitely
yeah.
Another thing we started doing in the end of the year, starting in Christmas, was we started doing more things. We started doing more Discord events.
Yeah,
weekly Discord events.
Especially since we don't really, I think our Discord is very, very text based, and so we wanted to create more situations where people would use VC more, and we would use VC more, and kind of get to know each other. Because on stream, it is very one sided, as in you guys get to know us a lot, and we do get to know you guys through text, but it's hard to go. I think it's hard to connect to that level without speaking, I guess, or being in like a more private room of a VC session. So I thought that was, we thought that was something that was kind of needed in our Discord to get you guys to be closer to each other, and then we can all be, friends. So
yeah, it's been great, like doing the jukebox and the creative sessions. I think even if people aren't really doing their own creative thing or whatever, I think people that are watching the creative streams enjoy that. It's people want to see more of your at the end of the year, I think we tried to with the Pokemon, while doing Pokemon on one window and then you drawing on the other one, trying to really push out that, because you said you wanted to draw more, but you couldn't think of many opportunities to do that. So I was like, why don't you just draw on stream while I play the game, and then have the drawing based off or loosely related to what I'm doing, and then it'll make sense rather than just like a random doodle, right? So.
And it worked out in the end.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully people like that. Hopefully we can do more of that. So yeah, more Discord stuff. It was just, I think we just try to do a lot of things, and the thing is when you do something new, sometimes people think it's cool, sometimes people are like, I don't know, or like it's not the strongest thing ever.
Yeah.
But I think we just got to keep on
keep on keeping on.
Yeah, just keep on keeping on. New ideas, just throw them out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, it does. I think that was really what 2019 was, and 2020 is definitely going to be the same thing. Because I'm going to spit out ideas. You're going to spit out ideas. We're just going to do them. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. People might not like the game.
It's a lot of trial and error, for sure.
Yeah.
The thing about streaming is it's a lot of trial and error, is what we discovered. So, yeah.
And it's hard because new people come in, but then sometimes like when you just look at like new people come in, the old people are still there, but some people leave, and then you realize like it's just like in and out. So it's hard to see growth in that sense, but you just got to stay true. And when you come to VC and everybody comes in, throws in their songs and having a good time, you know that you're doing something good. Yeah. And so would you say 2019 was, if this is a hard thing that I'm going to ask you to do, but if you could sum it up in like a sentence, what would 2019 be? I wanted to say word, because they have that kanji in Japan where they sum up, every year they sum up the year with one kanji. But I think it's a little hard with just the word. So is there like a sentence or that you could sum up 2019?
2019 was the year of discovering new friends and I guess tackling the struggles of streaming, I guess. Or like trial and error kind of thing. Yeah. That was like the most botched sentence ever, but
that was very long, yeah.
What about yours? Do you have one?
So I asked you that question, but I had nothing in mind for my answer. But I guess this year was trying to make it short and simple. But 2019 was trial and error is really, I think, is really good. And I'll be real, it was a rough year, I think.
It was, yeah. It was.
That first year of streaming, and like when you get into that groove, but you get into the groove, you kind of get it going, then you realize you kind of want to get out of that groove again to go to the next place,
Mhm.
and then it's really hard to get out of that. So, it's, to be completely honest, there were many moments where we would talk and we would be like, is this, what are we doing? Like, are we doing this right? Is the question. Not are
Yeah.
we. It wasn't we're doing this wrong. It was, are we doing this right? Because you never know.
Yeah.
It's this really unstable. And then we talked this about with other streamers, and they said, year 2 is where it really happens. So you just got to kind of power through. And I did have some plans for the second year going in, which I'll talk about later with some of the stuff that we've been doing. But just this year it was hard to see. It was hard to see growth, and
Because to be honest, there wasn't much.
Yeah.
There honestly wasn't much growth. Not as much as we thought we would see, especially since we skyrocketed the first couple months of streaming. Like when we started, we flew pretty high.
We were hitting like 60 average, 60. We started off with like 40 to 60 averages every day. On a good day, maybe 80.
Yeah. And then we dropped down to 20.
Yeah.
And now we can't get out of like 30s and 40s.
30s and 40s is kind of like our, maybe
Yeah.
sometimes in the 50s is kind of where we've been kind of
stuck
cruising. But the thing is that we always talk about is that it's not the same 30-40. People have their lives and then they move on, and then some people come in or some people come back. So we always have new faces, which is what's really important, and it's about keeping those people. And it's the same thing that we always say, but we need to keep saying it out loud, or else
we start to forget.
It does, the weight the weight definitely does get to you, and it's I think we try really hard to interact with people, try to make people feel at home and stuff like that. And so that's really important to us. And I think people in our community is really special. And when you say stuff like that, I just don't want to make it sound like we take the people that we already have for granted, or like it's not good enough or anything like that, because it's definitely not. And the more we talk about it, it's just when you see stuff in face value and you just kind of don't see this, it's like a plateau for like a while, drop again, plateau, drop again, go up a little bit, and then plateau. It's like on this face value, it doesn't seem like we're growing, but I mean, we are growing little by little, but it's hard to see that when you put in a lot of work every day. And then kind of like, there were a lot of moments where I thought, okay, we had a conversation, a serious conversation where you said, maybe this is not it.
Maybe this isn't, what we should be doing.
And those are probably like the darkest,
the most we were very, moments. The lowest of the low kind of thing.
And I was like, maybe if you do want to look for a job, if this is not what you want to do, then that's fine. Like, we're going to have to find a job, It was getting hard to pay for the bills.
Mm-hmm.
There were some months where you couldn't. And then so it would be like, okay, no, don't worry, I got it. And then it would be back to half and half.
Yeah.
Some months half and half. And so and that's the real part of streaming, because nobody really should. It's probably ill-advised to probably just go in and be like, I'm gonna try and live off this. So it should always, if you can keep it as a hobby, that's great. But it's, so people that can do that and have a full-time job somehow is like God tier. Like, I don't know how people do it.
How you guys do it?
Yeah, I don't know how some people do it.
Yeah.
But I think hopefully going into the second year, we can see more. And even if it just stays like this, which I'm expecting that it stays like this for the second year too, then that's fine too, because I enjoy what we have. But I'm not the one, because like my income isn't fully based off of streaming, whereas
It's
yours
mine.
is.
Yeah.
So that I don't have power over that. And if you're just like, if you decide that, okay, we did good, I'm gonna I'll still stream but lessen it a lot and then focus on a different job, like that's also up to you too. So I feel like this year really made me think like, okay, that's also a possibility that we could have in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just being real, right? So
To be realistic, yeah.
I mean, at the end of the year, we came to the conclusion like we can probably still keep going. It's always hard to take these things seriously, or like just go full in. It's never advised to do that, but we were in a situation where we kind of could for a year, and we are a year and a half going into 2 years, and I think we're going to keep still doing that. So hopefully we can see some interesting things happen next year.
Yeah. I hope so. We'll try our best.
Do you have anything to say to that? Kind of your thoughts on that? Because it's, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, like you said, I'll try again this year. Give it 2 years. Try my best for 2 years and then see where we are. And I think it's just to the point where I really can't support myself and I'm just losing like savings, then I think it's time to look for something else, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is what I really think, like, to be completely realistic. Because I can't just keep doing this and hope for like some kind of miracle if nothing is happening after 2 years.
We've already been super lucky already.
Yeah.
Like insanely lucky.
Yeah. And so I know we are one of the very rare situations. And so I do appreciate that we have been very, very lucky. But of course, because I decided to just jump into this without another job to support me, I'm at a situation where it's either like I just stop streaming and go find a full job, or I have to cut down and look for a part-time if it doesn't pay for the bills, kind of thing. So I can't just keep depending on Gray and then using his savings up too. So yeah. And especially since we're getting close to 30s, I think it's time to kind of, I guess look at all the possible options after 2 years. But so it really just depends on what happens next year.
The thing is that I still believe in, like, we had this conversation and I had to do the conversation because, or like kind of be like, yeah, I understand, through, because I understand where you're coming from. It's hard to even say that, but I'm still like, there's a lot of things that I want to do in 2020, and I think there's really cool things can happen, and I still believe in it. So my hope is I'm gonna still go real hard at streaming, and you'll go hard at streaming, and then we don't have to have this at the end of the 2020 year review where you go, okay, this is the last podcast. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with the Bluest. It was a great 2 years. Really suck, like, so I don't want to do that, and I don't want to either. Yeah, but I also don't want to keep dragging on this thing that that may never happen, or maybe it takes 10 years for it to happen, but we don't have 10 years in us, and that's like just the reality of things. Like if we were like 19 or something like that, things are different. But I think and that's kind of what these podcasts are about. They're a little bit of the you guys get more of an insight of what the conversations behind the stream is. Like that's just reality. And it's not us. I don't want people to confuse this to saying that we're going to stop streaming, because that's not what we're saying. But what we're saying is there are times when we still want to stream and we're going to keep streaming, but there are times when you just have that real conversation because of the style that we kind of like unorthodox style that we started streaming, and also how lucky we got at the very beginning. And because this was only supposed to be a job, a hobby. That's why we kept Bluest, because that's just a username. That's not a channel name or anything that was supposed to be the brand. It was just a username she used for everything. So, and it kind of like snowballed into this thing, and we have this great community. We made such great friends, and we don't want to leave them ever. And so it's, but there's the reality of things that as people nearing 30 have to talk about.
Yep.
You know, and when you go like hang out with friends and they're like, what are you doing and stuff, and there's a lot of things that we can't afford that they can't afford, or just their standard of living is very different.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have pride in doing something creative more than, you know, having a kind of a more comfortable living and just being bored. I hate being bored, so this is a lot better. So I feel a lot more like driven doing this. So hopefully we can keep going.
I hope so too.
Yeah. And that's like kind of the real side of what 2019 was like for me. And I didn't really mention all the things that are obvious, like all the fun times that we've had. But I think that's the kind of stuff that people want to hear, that are like subbed and are taking the time to listen to this podcast, more than just like the bullshit, like the obvious stuff, like, oh yeah, streaming was fun, you know, like shit like that. Like, of course it was fun, of course it was awesome, and we appreciate everybody. Hopefully we show that through the streams and the VC sessions and like the, you know, just like Discord communication. Hopefully that's already going out to you guys, and everything is. I'm not lying. None of it is lying. Blue is not lying in any of that. But this is just the kind of the snippet of the conversations and like the reality of what. And this is supposed to be an audio log of our kind of, you know, like every month, and that's the year review. It was like, wow, 2019 had some rough parts, and we had to see reality, in a real way. We had to see reality in a real way. But I still believe, and I'm gonna still strive until the very last moment. Where my like bank just like, oh, we can't pay for dinner net tomorrow.
I hope we don't get to that point.
But yeah, I'm gonna still crawl.
Yeah,
I guess. So and because we were given this new, you know, like with isekai and stuff, like so many possibilities that normally streamers would dream of getting after, especially streamers that just started in their first year or first and a half year, is we're very lucky. So I just definitely don't want all those possibilities to go to waste.
Yeah, and especially since this is still our first year. And so I know we're still at the very beginning of all this. And so I do want to make sure that, you know, we at least try all the things that we wanted to try. And so we won't have any regrets if it does get to like a worst case scenario. So I do want to use all that we have that was, of course, given to us, especially with Isekai and like all the community members who are always there for us and everything as well. So we'll try our very, very best for 2020.
Yeah. I'm actually like, I know that did sound all negative that we were talking about, but I'm still looking forward to 2020. Like I'm ready to go hard for, you know.
Yeah, we both have a lot of ideas for 2020.
Yeah.
Which, we'll have to talk about after this as well. Mm-hmm. Fully flesh it out and everything. But we do have a few things planned. And so we are looking forward to 2020. I don't want anybody to think that we aren't. So
I just wanted to make that clear on this podcast, because this is what I'm going to be. The original reason to have these podcasts was for us to listen to it in the future. And if I don't say that now on here and record it, it's one of those things that I'm not going to remember that I had this feeling and had this conversation to this depth, detail at this point in time in our streaming, like, not career, but like, you know what I mean? Like the time that we've been streaming. So that's why I want to just record that and put that in there, that we had that conversation at the end of 2019.
And then at the end of 2020, we can listen to this and see what the difference is.
Yeah, like so. it would be very interesting. Like it's, I hope it's like, oh, we can laugh about it. Be like, I remember when we were like thinking that it wasn't going to work out in 2019. Look at us now. Is what I'm hopefully, because I think it's not like what we have is failing or anything like that. It's not failing at all. It's definitely growing and it's definitely doing good. It's just it was just that weird first 2 months that was like, that just messed us up about like the average of everything. It was just so weird in that first couple months or first.
Yeah, I don't know
2
what
months.
happened
It was
those
just
first couple
insane. It
months.
just fucked us up. It was, and it's been a slow grind to come back, and I think we are. We're definitely coming back. So, hopefully, and it's like, when you see other people do, that kind of where we not started, but when we were kind of like started streaming and we were like making friends with people, and they're doing better, like they're doing substantially better,
Like they're growing faster than you are.
Of course I'm happy for them, and it's like that, but it's like, man, I wonder what we can
It's
do
like,
to
yeah,
grow.
what are we doing wrong? Or like, what are we doing that, like, what are they doing that we're not doing? And it does get to the point where like, you are happy for them, but at the same time, you're like, wait, why aren't we there with them? Like, why are we so slow compared to all the people around us? And it feels like you're getting kind of left behind. And then that's like a little worm that like wiggles into your brain that's telling you like, oh, well, it's because you're not like, you either don't deserve it or you're not doing enough thoughts. Or like, it's like those like little bad thoughts that like come into your brain and just like fucking mess with you. And then, yeah,
yeah, it definitely.
It's great.
But I think that's relatable to a lot of people. And it's just not about streaming, but I think, it is competitive, it is a competitive, yeah. And so it's, it happens if you're in any competitive field, and especially in creative when it's hard to tell, like it's not if they're throwing, if they're shooting enough 3 points, they're good, it's not something like that where there's an obvious what's good, what's bad. Like you don't know, it's really ambiguous. Sometimes the streamer themselves have no idea, so it's like, it's really hard to pin down what's good, what's bad. I don't think even it exists. So
I don't think so either, yeah.
It's frustrating. But we know you learn from that stuff, and you go, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do A, B, and C, blah blah blah. And then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So it's just trial and error.
Yeah, and especially since on the other side of things, it is motivating.
Absolutely.
Because you want to be like, okay, you know what? If they could do it, I could do it too.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're all kind of like, we were at the same place at one time, kind of thing. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. So do you want to go to some questions that we got from chat?
Actually, before that, I had a question for you.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So since we did this last Christmas as well, when we recorded our podcast. And so I want to ask you, what is your New Year's resolution for 2020?
2020?
Yeah.
Hopefully we can do more things with the stream team when it comes to, everyone's very busy, and we definitely work really hard to try to like schedule everything, but everyone's really busy. Hopefully we can do more isekai stuff going next year, starting with the podcast. Those are super fun to do. For our stream, I don't know if there's just one thing, it's nailing down what makes us Bluest. If I can nail that down in 2020, and it's not about, I know, and it's not just like the chat interaction or, like being friends with everybody, which is a very important part, but I want to find something that makes Bluest, and that separates other streams from us. Because I've been trying to figure that out, and it's really hard to figure that out. Maybe we don't have one yet. So hopefully, if it's either discovering or creating that, that's my resolution for 2020. How about you, Blue?
I was going to say something similar in that I really want to be able to kind of solidify our channel, because I think we do tend to be, especially with the first year, we were all over the place. And so I do want to get to a point where we are consistently doing something where we can, especially when we're like introducing ourselves, we can just sum it up very, very simply. And so in that sense, I guess it's similar to yours, as in like, you want to know what makes Bluest. And I think I have that too. I do want to figure out what kind of games we want to stick to, or what kind of content we want to create, kind of things like that. If we do want to go into creative streams more, or if we do want to stick to just gaming, or if we want to just stick to like a couple games, or if you want to do variety still, or like just kind of figure out, and then of course like solidify schedule and everything. And so I do want like more, I guess, consistency with everything, not just stream schedule and times and everything, but more of like something solid where we can say we do this
This is Bluest.
and this is us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There was a stand-up comedian that was talking about on a first date, you're just a mishmash of personalities because you don't know which one you want to go with, even though, you know, the other person doesn't really care. And that's kind of how what it feels like probably for
Yeah.
the first 2 years. Like you're just a mishmash of like, maybe I'll be the cool guy, maybe I'll be the cute girl, or maybe I'll be, you know, like it's just you try everything out. And then I think going into 2020, hopefully after June, our second full year of streaming, we can really just have what makes us Bluest. And we're always just looking for that.
Mhm.
And so hopefully we can find that or create that, whatever that is. Like, and that's again all just trial and error. So, all right. So now, do you want to
let's go
check
to
out
questions.
some questions we got?
all right. So first question is from Shozan.
Yeah.
And it is, what's your favorite Blink album and song that you can listen to over and over again?
My favorite album by Blink-182 is the self-titled record. My favorite song that I can listen to over and over. I have a lot of songs I can listen if it's Blink. One's Apple Shampoo on Dude Ranch, or just because like that was like the first real like old Blink that I really really liked. Another one that I can listen to over and over and over again is Always by Blink-182. That one comes to mind. List goes on and on, man. Like I can listen to After Midnight forever. I can listen to Asthenia, Josie. It's like all over the place. Okay, but favorite album, self-titled, 2004. Favorite, and if it's from that record, Always is my favorite song. Was that just to me?
That was yours, and then mine is, what is your favorite album to listen to over and over again? I have a few, but I think right now that comes to mind is probably Radwimps. It's probably their biggest thing. It's either the Your Name record, because I think that album is really, really good. Just like the whole soundtrack is really great. Or the Hajimari no Matome
Yeah,
is probably one of my favorites. I really
that's
like all
a
the songs on
compilation
there.
of all their like hits
All their,
that they
hits,
made
yeah,
for like
yeah.
Spotify and iTunes, right?
Yeah. And it's like it has a lot of like their earliest works as well. So it's kind of a cool mismatch of things that selected that were in the album. So
Those are some bangers, yeah.
yeah, there's some really good songs in there. It's probably mine. All right, and then next one is by Derp. It says,
Yeah.
go-to comfort foods.
Natto gohan, miso shiru is probably my comfort. Natto with rice with a bowl of miso soup. That's it.
I can second that. Other than that, I think, what's another one?
It's got to be something very Japanese for you, right, Blue?
Oh yeah, for
Right.
sure.
Nikujaga toka.
Yeah, nikujaga is really good. Oyakodon's really good.
Like the chicken and
just
egg.
like the egg over rice is
Egg
always
over- yeah.
good. Yeah. Any of those
Yeah.
would be good comfort foods. Or like oden during the winter. That's like a given. Like
Don't-
you have to have oden during the winter. Or nabe.
That's life right there.
That's just everything. But yeah. All right. Next one is by Regular.
Yep.
What's been the most practical gift you've ever received?
Oh, okay. I know mine. Socks. I love when I get socks for gifts. Just putting that out there.
Most practical? I've gotten kitchen towels. Does that work?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably the most practical gift I've gotten is kitchen towels. Those are fucking expensive, so it's so nice when you get some.
Imagine just getting pairs and pairs of just white socks.
You love those though, and you go through them.
I would
really
love
fast,
that. That
so.
would be the best gift ever. Like no design, just like white socks. Of course, like any type of sock is fine, but most practical, yeah, white sock.
I should just start gifting you a pack of socks every birthday and Christmas, so you never run out.
That's fine too.
And you
Yep.
can just throw away your old ones.
Yep.
All right. So Fuchan has a really it's a kind of a different kind of question.
Okay.
It says, can you give us a full-on walkthrough of how the sacred ritual known as karaoke night goes?
Karaoke night.
What do you usually do before and after? Give us the full details of how one actually attends a karaoke, please. Like, do you have to schedule it ahead of time? When you get there, is there like a hostess you can talk to? And how do you pay and all the little details?
All right. Okay. We probably know as much as about the same, but
So what you do is you get really, really drunk. And then afterwards, you tell your friends, okay, let's go to karaoke. And then you go to the place, right? So no reservations or anything. And usually with all the karaoke places, it doesn't really matter which one. They all have, like, once you go through those doors, it's unnecessarily bright. And there's a little counter and there's a couple people standing there. So you go up to them and you tell, like, they ask you, like, how long do you want to stay for and how many people? And then after you decide the length of time you want to stay and how many people that's going to be there, they'll give you, like, they'll assign you a room because they have different sizes for rooms. So for big parties, you get a huge, like a really, really big room. And for smaller ones, it's usually like a little tiny office space kind of thing.
Sometimes you even get a mic stand if you go to a really big one.
If you're special enough.
Yeah, and then break it.
A lot of times you can actually choose what, because they have different types of machines for karaoke. And so sometimes you can choose, like if you ask, oh, I want more like foreign songs, then they have a machine that has more foreign songs or like things like that.
And you use a little iPad thing to put in the songs, and then you send the song in, and then it'll play on the screen.
Yeah, and then after that, you choose if you want to do nomi hodai, which is all you can drink alcoholic beverages, or soft drinks. There's two options. And then if you get soft drinks, there's like a little soft drink bar that you can get your drinks from. They usually have like soda, they have hot chocolate, they have coffee, they have like a bunch of drinks. So then after that, you get like a little clipboard thing and you bring it to your room. And then usually is this detailed enough, by the way?
Yeah, this is really good.
Microphones usually have a little like plastic cover because they like sanitize it for you. And so you take the plastic covers off, you take the little iPad off the wall, and then you start putting in songs. And then, usually the whole mannerism of it is you put in one song and you pass it to the next person.
Or you just put in songs that everybody can sing.
Yeah.
And like that.
Whichever.
And the machine is so... you can do so many things. If the key doesn't fit, you can change the key of the song. You can make it faster if you want to.
You can lower it.
You can
lower the pitch.
Some karaoke machines, you can actually change your voice. There's a voice changer on those things. You can rate. Like, it'll give you a score at the end if you want it. If you don't want it, just turn that off.
And score as in how many calories you burned.
Oh, no. They give you like an actual score, like how good it was on a scale of 0 to 100.
I've only seen the calorie one.
Yeah. So they used to have a TV show where they had the actual person that sang the song and see if they can get 100. And most of the time they can't. So, so stuff like that. Also, another trick is you usually do all you can drink soft drinks because it's cheaper and you can get, all the water or whatever you want as a chaser. If somebody has a bag, you buy a bottle of whatever or a can of a Strong Zero or something. Put it in the bag and you sneak it in and you mix the drinks. Okay, that's what you do, right?
This is a big secret.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, if you get caught, you get kicked out, but you can, you gotta hide it. That's how you do it. That's the real way to do karaoke and try to get. It's really cheap. It's like $10 to $15 an hour, maybe, and you can and then all you can drink and then all the songs, right?
And they do have food there as well, so you can get like pasta, you can get like rice dishes, you can get chips. Things like that.
Some rooms got like fucking disco lights in them and like it gets really hype. You can also, very important, you can change the volume of everything because it's just a small room and you can just customize it. So if you think you want the mic to be louder, the echo to be louder, the music to be louder, you can just adjust that with that iPad. So it's just like this little room with you and your friends and just singing your heart out, drunk, not drunk, whatever. To the jams, to eternal jams. Like it's the best way to spend time with friends, I think. And it's always really fun when you're really drunk, and because nobody is listening to like how good you are at singing. It's just like, you're like
You're just
at a
enjoying
concert.
yourself. Yeah.
Imagine yourself at a concert every time a karaoke song plays and you're just singing with your friends in the crowd.
I mean, like everyone is belting it out at like the top of their lungs, so everyone's like off key, and it's great.
No one cares, man.
Yeah. And then in that room, there's like a little telephone, and they usually call you. So if you have like, for example, if you want to order something, you call them. Like you just pick up the phone and you can order like, oh, I want this drink, and this food kind of thing. But then when it's time to go, they give you a 10-minute warning. And so you just basically like, you kind of, they do give you like on the clipboard, it tells you like when it's time. And so you just kind of have to keep track of that. And then you just bring your once you're done, you bring your clipboard to the front desk, pay, and then that's it. And usually they will, depending on if you want to split the bill between the people who were there, they'll even calculate that for you. So it's pretty nice.
Also, if you want to go longer, if you're there for an hour but you're like having a lot of fun, you want to go for another hour, just give them a call and say, hey, I just want to extend the time 1 hour. They go, okay, and then they'll probably come and take the money from you first, and then, but yeah, everything is through that phone that's in the room.
Yep. Oh, and sometimes they have like tambourines and like little maracas.
Oh, and they have cosplay too. Like you can cosplay and stuff.
Depends on the place, but
like a police officer, you could do that. All right. So hopefully that was detailed enough. If it wasn't detailed enough, ask us on Discord, and we'll respond.
Yeah. All right, and then another question from Fujan is: have you two played Go? How popular is it over there, or Shogi?
I've never played Shogi or Go. I don't know how to play those.
Yeah, I haven't played it either. I am interested, though. I've always wanted to try Go.
There was a really popular manga.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to try it when I was a kid. I was like, what? This is so badass. I want to try it. But I never did.
I'm sure they have, like, classes for that.
Yeah.
Right?
I know how to play Othello.
Yeah. It's like
that's black and white, too.
That is. I don't know how similar the rules to Othello are to Go, but...
They're not.
Yeah. I also want to learn Mahjong.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. All right. Last question.
Yep.
It's from Glyden. He says, which languages did you two mainly speak with each other? I'm guessing this is before now, like before streaming. Has that changed at all ever since you started streaming and spending your time with us? What would you say are the best things to come out of this whole thing for you? And has talking with chat affected your view of gaming as a whole, or do you think it changed you as gamers? So let's go with the first question.
Mm-hmm.
Which languages did you two mainly speak with each other?
We mixed it up.
Yeah.
So that hasn't really changed.
Yeah, has not, for sure. And then, so the second part is, what would you say are the best things to come out of this whole thing for you?
I got to interact with people that actually live outside of Japan. Because I know some people that speak English, but they lived in Japan just like me. But I've never interacted with so many people at the same time, from actually people from America or Europe or other parts of Asia in such a short amount of time. So I got to know a lot more about cultures. I get to know more people, more different kind of people than just like other salarymen in Japan. So that's the best thing that I got to know that happened through streaming.
Mine was that, as most of you guys know, I was at a really bad place when I started this. So the fact that you guys, well, not you guys, but like everyone in the community have like helped me get through that low point in my life. And also the fact that it helped me with my speaking, if that makes sense. Like I know when I do meet people for the first time, I tend to be very quiet and I'm very shy and I just have a hard time speaking. And I still do sometimes now, but I think I've gotten a lot better since I started. I know how to start conversations and keep conversations going. Or at least I'm getting better at it. And
Absolutely.
So I think I'm getting skills that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't do this.
It's actually crazy seeing the change from before we started streaming to now.
Yeah.
And like, cause we meet people from streaming stuff. Like it's pretty crazy, the change.
That's probably the biggest thing for me. And then, has talking with chat affected your view of gaming as a whole?
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, everything was before streaming. I didn't have a PS Plus, or what is it? Is that the online one? or I never played online games. Gamings were very single player by myself. So playing multiplayer and being able to connect with people so fast, just online and talking to them really changed the way I play games. Or some of them, like 14. Like I would have never played 14 if it wasn't for stream, I think. How about you, Blue?
I think, yeah, I mean, in a different sense, I did play MMOs and stuff, but the thing is, it was a very solo project for me too. Solo project? That sounds really weird, sorry. A solo thing for me too, especially since a lot of things that I would see in game or I would react to was all in my head usually. So you would just think like, oh, that's really cool, but you would never really voice it. And so it was at first really weird to share like that first playthrough experience with people because you usually don't react to things and usually nobody sees you reacting to these things. And I guess now you're kind of going through this experience with other people, which is definitely a new thing that I would have never I guess I would have never experienced if it wasn't for this. So it's given me like a perspective on the fact that gaming isn't really a solo thing anymore. I think as we get older and as we have more multiplayer games and stuff, I think gaming is slowly getting further and further away from just you playing in front of a TV in your basement at home by yourself for hours and hours and hours, which of course that is still an option, but it's getting to the point where it's more common to see people playing with each other or sharing that experience with other people. And so it's really cool. It's very, it's a very modern thing. That makes me sound really old, but yeah, I suppose mine's very similar in that sense. Do you think it changed you as gamers? Yeah, I mean, what that's included in what we also mentioned. But
there's a part of me that's kind of still that I do appreciate and do want to play games by myself sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I still have that too.
And it just so just play a single player game by myself. But I think playing with other people and like the games would lock you. You can't play by yourself sometimes when you do these like 14 and stuff. So yeah, it kind of forced me almost to go into that direction. And I'm just really glad that we were able to meet, good people that were willing to help us do that, I guess, and made that kind of a transition smoother than it would have been if it was just without the community.
Yeah, for sure. And I think another thing is the community has taught me to be more patient with myself when it comes to games. I've become more tolerant of things.
That's good.
Especially when I'm playing FromSoft games and people are telling me to get good, noob. So
Tough love.
Tough love has taught me to be more patient and tolerant of things.
Are those the just?
And I think that's the last one.
Nice. So some of the things that because we're almost at the end of the podcast here, but something new that we're probably going to do for 2020 is that we're actually going to make these podcasts public. We're not going to make the ones up until now public. So from this episode, this is the last episode that's going to be private. And then after this, every month, we're going to make it public. But everything before that. So how many episodes is that? I know every 5 it's public, but we have 17 episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the 17 episodes will be, or minus the ones that are public, will still be private. And that's just something that's special to us. And I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this longer, maybe like 2 years, but I decided, I was talking to Blue, I was like, I want to do it. Maybe we should just start from 2020. But the reason why I wanted to do this as Discord only was, one, we didn't have many Discord perks. But more importantly, I wanted to create an archive that's like the OG subs can, always just check out, or people that are interested in the stream later can check out later. And that's the biggest reason why I wanted to do this in private. But now from going on from here, so the main goal was to make the podcast public anyways, but I wanted to create somewhat of an archive that's private. like a vault almost.
Secret archive.
Yeah, like the starting year of Bluest. And so from 2020, everything's gonna be public. But everything before that is going to be private, except for every 5 episodes. So yeah, that's another thing. We have a new schedule planned for 2020. Hopefully to accommodate not everybody. We can't accommodate everybody, unfortunately, but the people, as many people as we can, and also kind of look after our health, because we do go until like 2 or really late, and if we want to do VC or anything after that, it's just really hard, and it really messes up our sleep schedules and stuff. So hopefully we can make it more simple now.
Yeah, and instead of a time change, it's more like a time shift.
Yeah.
And so it's not like we won't be losing like stream hours or anything like that. It's just more like we're just going to be shifting it a little bit. So
yeah, hopefully we can stream for as much as we do now, or even more. But we're just going to shift stuff a little bit. We'll put that out on Discord once we figure that out, I guess. Yeah, and we have what? So right now we're recording this Saturday. We just did our first stream. We got one more stream today, and then we have one more on Sunday, and that's it for 2019. So thank you guys for 2019, man. You guys are crazy. I know it got a little real at the beginning, but I hope it doesn't. You'll take it. People that will listen to it will take it the way they do. But hope we're not being mopey about 2019. That was just the real conversations we had. But we're really, really looking forward to 2020, and we can't thank all of you guys that are checking this out. People that aren't even checking this out, that just checked out the Bluest stream this year. Thank you guys so much for it was such a crazy year, and we couldn't have done it without you guys. 本当にありがとうございました.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. And especially for all the support that you have given us, from just coming to streams, all the fun times with all our new Borks and community nights on Discord and stuff. Like we can't thank you guys enough for all the support and love that you guys have shown us. So thank you so much.
And we'll see you guys in 2020, all right?
Yeah. We'll see you in the new year.
Bye-bye.